another daily, not daily, scratch that, another NFL show. You already know who it is, man. RTP and ANTNHD. And under me, I got my boy, the big dog himself, Zachary Gretch. Game time, Gretch. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great, Ant. It's kind of a strange night tonight. We got a double header for Monday Night Football. I think that's a big thing. That hey, you get more broadcasting streams, you get more audience, and if you didn't think that Sunday night was bigger, then they made Monday night bigger tonight. So hey,
Stupid, bro.
yeah, you gotta do it sometimes bigger by times too, man. So we'll see what they're doing.
There's about four of these this season, and I absolutely hate it. I despise this, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's just like, I mean, at least for covering it, I guess I'm being selfish. I don't know how the average guy feels, but covering it after working 7 to 4 is exhausting. Covering and like we're not gonna get to the second game, unless the second game finishes by the time we finish streaming. We get super heated about a Dak Prescott debate or something like that. You never know. But I don't like this. I feel like if you were someone who works or if you're on the East Coast, bro, and this game started at 10:30, you would be pissed off, right? Like that. That's fair. What do you think, though?
I think it's great to a certain extent. I got obviously for us streaming, it's gonna be tough with just the schedule wise. But you know what? It's a lot more content to talk about, and we got live football right across from us. We're watching on our screen, so it is what it is. I mean, I'm just glad that football's back. You're always gonna hear about me, and I didn't realize how much I love this sport. Playing it majority of my life until it's back, and you realize. And it's been very, very entertaining these past couple of weeks, and a lot of injuries as well, especially for them quarterbacks. We saw the past game with the Texans and the Buccaneers, and they put on the screen 5 quarterbacks. I believe J.J. McCarthy, Justin Fields, Joe Burrow, and Daniels. Yes, Jaden Daniels, questionable now. And then there's one more. I don't know. But anyways, obviously, and now Baker Mayfield banged up.
So. I was going to say it looked like Baker Mayfield got hurt in this game. I think I'm just shitting on the – can you still see me when I do this? Is my camera still moving?
Yeah. You're good. You're there.
Okay. I feel like the big hit with the reason I'm hating on this so much is because the Texans lost. I'm just not in a good mood. I'm going to be honest. Let me give you my mindset going into this game really quick, right? So I saw in the betting apps that the Texans – by the way, shout out to sponsor of the stream, Boom Fantasy, because – we had a great weekend betting on the Terrence Crawford-Canelo fight, great weekend on UFC, and great weekend on NFL Sunday Football. So everything cooked this weekend. I made enough money to never have to stream again, to never have to talk about Boom Fantasy again. But I'm going to do it anyway because I'm going to show love. Use code RTP for a risk-free bet up to $100. Anyway, my bad. Off track. I went into this game seeing that the Texans were the favorites. And I was like, just no way. Like, we are not better than this Buccaneers team. I think we're good. Our O-line just stinks. Absolutely stinks. Everything else on our team, you could argue is top 10, every position group, other than maybe our running back room. Everything else feels like it's top 10. Our O-line might be the worst O-line in the NFL, and it shows tonight clearly. So we go into this game. Hello, Kayla Hernandez. How you doing? We go into this game as the favorite, and I'm like, whatever, we're going to lose. Then we are winning this whole game, or like it's back and forth, but we're in it. It felt like we were in the driver's seat. We blocked a punt. They missed a field goal. Baker Mayfield fumbles. Like everything's going on our way. That's a game we should win, and we end up losing and killing my fucking night. My night is ruined, Zach. There's no saving it tonight. There's nothing you could say on this stream that will save my night. My night is ruined. No raw dog quarterbacks. No 1 word and then 10 words. There's nothing you could say that will save my night. My night is over. The Texans lost. We lost, man.
Shut up. You know what? But you're not that bad of an embarrassment compared to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Or no. The Dolphins are pretty bad too. So you know what? At least look it. You are the best 0-2 team out there right now.
Are we?
You are.
There's another 0-2 team. There's another. We're gonna talk about on the show. I will say this though. I was in some Instagram debates today on my personal account about basketball, and some dude called me a slur today. And in his Instagram profile pic, he had a Bears beanie on, and I was like, I'd rather be anything than a Bears fan, brother. So call me what you want. I'd rather be anything than a Bears fan, brother. But we could go into what happened on Sunday. It was a great week for football, obviously. I will say we didn't put this on the docket, but something I did want to talk about that I forgot to add, bro. Let's start with Thursday, actually. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
TikTok.
I
What's
was
up,
right there.
Ethan? How you doing? This dude, real quick. This dude lost to me in 2K last night because he called a timeout when he was out of timeouts and got a technical foul. Hold that. He wants to run it back tonight. Anyway, I think the Packers are real life contenders. Like, I think from what we've seen this season, they're probably the best team in the NFL. Right? From 2 weeks overreacting.
I think you are absolutely right. They are top 3, maybe even 1, because of that defense. Okay. And because the fact is, and then Jordan Love even made that offense look outstanding after when he played the Commanders towards the second half. The guy was trying to figure it out. But you know what? I have to give their defense so much respect because they limited Jaden Daniels like under rushing yards. Like they limited him and he still played a great game.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is that we talked about it. They brought the pressure and he really had nowhere to go with the ball, And I think that's something to be noteworthy for. And I guess the one thing I want to say is the Packers haven't had a defense like this in a fat minute. And I think going back to like 2010, when Clay Matthews, that Aaron Rodgers, and that Steelers Super Bowl, that defense was amazing. And Aaron Rodgers didn't have to do so much. And I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers, but like Jordan Love is bringing that type of feeling back where it's like, hey, I just got to cover what I have to cover on my end. And the defense is playing lights out. And that's what you got to do. Defense wins championships. People know that for a fact. It's been a big saying in the NFL for quite some time. If you have a defense, you have a chance at winning. And as long as they have a running game, which Josh Jacobs has been doing pretty well, but it's amazing to me. It's amazing. But yeah, that 27-18 outcome on Thursday night. And don't get me wrong, the Commanders are a playoff team. And I told you about them. They are really just getting started. And they're 1-1. Okay. And they're still going. But I think what, to me, going later on in these Sunday games, it started getting questionable about like, wow, we saw some defenses and then we saw some offensive shootouts. But it's been a lot about defense recently. And I think the difference about me is like seeing some defenses come out of the blue, like the Falcons last night. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, Atlanta. What? Like, I didn't think that. They made J.J. McCarthy look so bad, and he got hurt.
But he's back to earth.
He is.
I don't think that game, it wasn't him, respectfully. And I like him.
The O-line was atrocious, what I saw from.
I just don't think that's him. And I want to give a shout out to the Falcons because everyone shit on them for drafting 2 edge rushers. I thought they drafted the 2 right guys, and it looked like it on Sunday because those guys went to work, man. They're exhausting. By the way, don't read that comment from Zaddy. You stopped while you were speaking for a second, and I thought you were going to read it. Just don't read that out loud because you got to get –
I'm good. I'm good.
You're contained. No, nothing rattled over here. I wanted to give a special one to Green Bay because they looked amazing. Now, if we head over to Sunday, I think the big talking point for Sunday is KC, man. This team is 0-2 now. I don't think it's panic mode yet, right?
No.
But I will say if they lose on Sunday Night Football to the Giants, then we got to have some conversations.
And the way the Giants came off of the game, I mean, look at watching for me. My defense can't stop a nosebleed, right? My defense can't stop a nosebleed for whatsoever. That you want to talk about the worst defense? That's the worst defense in the NFL, 100%. And I think that's coming just understanding that what we've lost, and now we're getting Jadeveon Clowney. But again, that guy's been old, and I expect maybe some things out of him. But again, he's
been old for a decade.
Yes, and there's a lot of holes that need to be filled on that defense. But Dak Prescott's been playing, great ball, and at the end of the day, they can't. People can't argue with that. You can say all you want and all these things, but he's playing to his type of level when he's healthy. And I think the difference for me right now is this defense of like the Kansas City Chiefs. They were making competent stops. They stopped and limited Jalen Hurts to like under 100 rushing yards. But again, they still lost. And look at Xavier Worthy's hurt. Travis Kelce was doing okay.
Until he dropped it.
Exactly, until he dropped the ball. And I told you, I'm not saying I'm not worrying, but look at, I like Travis Kelce. I think he's great. Easily top 2 tight end of all time. This guy's made remarks of what he's done. But at the end of the day, I got to say something. I think the Chiefs are very beatable, and they look really human. Very human now. And not saying panic button yet, but the Giants, Russell Wilson, how he played, and he was my sleeper pick. So I'm just going to throw that in there now. One of my sleeper picks. The guy scored 30.3 points, 450 yards passing.
He killed.
450 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and obviously that question mark pick because they literally had the game. But he literally obliterated that defense, and he looked like vintage Russ. But again, that was against a crappy Cowboys defense. But what I will say, if he does that against the Chiefs, this should be shutting down the question marks of Jackson Dart trying to start and all these things. Look at Jackson Dart's going to get some playing time, but at the end of the day, if you're going to put him in quarterback design run, it starts getting very, how do you say it? It's just very readable, very, very, very readable. And you don't want to limit your rookie quarterback. And again, if Russell Wilson's playing competent football, especially how he played, people shouldn't crap on him. Again, the Giants defense still needed to make a stop. And there's a lot of factors in football. So at the end of the day, I think, hey, they have a decent chance at the Chiefs, and people might think I'm crazy. But even Malik Neighbors played outstanding too, and I'll get more into that later.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors absolutely killed. Russell Wilson absolutely killed. A lot of guys killed. Amon-Ra St. Brown this weekend had a great weekend too. A lot of killers were out there this weekend. But I do think the Giants, if I had to put money on it, the Chiefs are beating the Giants on Sunday.
How much are we saying, though? How much?
I want to look at what the betting odds are. Right now, the Chiefs are 5.5-point favorites. I would take that. I think they win by 2 scores. I don't think that's wild to say. They beat them by 10.
Okay, no, that makes sense. You know what I say, though? I don't think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns out there for the Chiefs as much as you think we are. I mean, they're very, very hard struggling in the red zone right now. And it just looked like a different Chiefs out there. And the Eagles, they're great. We know the defense, all that stuff. But again, my team, when we played against, close game. So we have to understand that when does Patrick Mahomes say, like he was saying on the broadcast and they were telling him, he's taking accountability. But when does Andy Reid say enough is enough? And, you got to play, man. I mean, they've been the team for the past decade, the talk of the town. And sometimes they say, franchises, they start to dwindle down on their years. The Cowboys were in the 90s. They were past long gone. And the Chiefs right now, the late 2020s, late 2010s, I mean, this might be the end.
I want to see them healthy before I go that far. I want to see them with Worthy, with Rashee Rice before I go that far. Because to me, I can't just go out and do all that. Okay. Just because it's the Chiefs, you got to go some level of respect. I feel like, though, this might be a wild take, but the Chiefs and the Eagles are 2 of the most boring teams to watch in the NFL. Both of those teams are just uninteresting, slow drives. Unless you get that Saquon run or a cool Mahomes pass, you're not really getting much from these 2 offenses. The defenses are pretty cool, but they're not electric. Neither of these teams are electric. They're just very sound. I don't want to sit here and act like the Chiefs didn't lose back-to-back to some scrubs. I mean, the Chargers look great. What day did they play? Friday last week. And then the Eagles obviously are the defending champs. So 0-2 for me doesn't mean much unless they lose to the Giants. I will say, though, you think this division's wide open? You think it's not?
I've been saying, remember I told you, AFC West is that division this year. That one and the NFC West. And, the NFC East looking good too now, but I think it's more the AFC West and the NFC West. Those West divisions look absolutely outstanding right now in terms of football. And Seattle's been playing competent. I mean, they beat the Steelers, stomped on them a little bit. The Niners, though, and there's a big question mark. You want to say how much level of respect? I like the Chiefs more than I like the Niners. And I want to get into that segment of, I put in a question. How good are the 49ers? They
Ooh.
have the easiest schedule. And I don't care whatever Niners fan, you know it. You are the most overhyped, undefeated team right now. Yes, you won with Mac Jones. Great. He looked great. But at the end of the day, you're playing bums. You played, look at the Saints. They almost beat you. Like what? Like, look at the score. It was 26-21. And I didn't see all the entire game, but that shouldn't be that close.
Yeah.
The freaking Saints. They haven't been relevant in a minute. And I think, like, to me, that's a question mark in the head. It's like, Kyle Shanahan, how much juice do you have left? You've gotten to the big places, but you haven't made a mark into the game. And that's just saying real talk. You know, you would have had, should have had, could have had. It didn't happen. But that's what I'm saying. They're very overhyped, dude. And I want to hear your take a little bit on that, because the Niners, I don't know. I'm not settled by them. I think they're beatable, and obviously they're battling injuries, but also, too, they're not fully healthy as well. They're in the same Chiefs dilemma, but the only thing is the record's different.
I think they're a competent team. That's where I'm at with them. I think if they had a normal schedule, they are probably around 500, or they have even wins and losses. I'm not too high on them. I'm not going to say they're going to win a Super Bowl or nothing like that. They are probably, let me check my work really quick. But, yeah, I think they're the worst team, them or the Bengals, that's winning their division right now. And we know the Bengals aren't really going to win their division. But the 49ers have a realistic chance at winning their division just because of their schedule. I think this ship is gone for them, man. I think we have a next generation of guys kind of coming up with this Brock Purdy era, because you got to remember, this 49ers that were elite weren't built around Brock Purdy. They were built around Garoppolo. Yep. So now we have the next generation of guys coming up, and hopefully that these guys could become something. But right now it's kind of like we're in that. You ever grown your beard out? You ever grew your beard out?
Oh, yes.
They're in that stage where the beard's coming in and it's a little ugly, but like, if you stick it out, it's going to look good, but you might shave it and fuck everything up because you don't believe in it. I think if they stick it out and they grow it out, they'll be fine. But if they start shaving everything off, then overreacting. We see that happen in sports all the time.
Yes. And that's a great analogy in itself, because at the end of the day, look, you don't have Deebo Samuel. You guys all said all these things, but Deebo Samuel did a lot for that team when he was healthy. He did a lot. I don't care what anybody says. Deebo Samuel was a good majority of that offense with Christian McCaffrey. And yes, Brandon Ayuk. But at the end of the day, Deebo Samuel's showing you he's thriving over there in the Commanders. And he's thriving well. It doesn't matter what he's doing. I mean, I got to give props to him. And he's clear cut out, said, you know what? Hey, screw those guys. And at the end of the day, like, the Niners, just whatever. And they're an afterthought to me. I just wanted to bring that. I put that on a question. And I'm glad we checked it off, because, again, those guys over there in Santa Clara, California, they're pretty much doomed in that division. They will lose in the playoffs.
I want to talk about the other team we brought up that's winning their division, the Bengals. And yes. I feel like at this point, bro, it's time. Like, this is a team that hit their ceiling, I think, when they made the Super Bowl 4 or 5 years ago. And I don't think they're going to get back there, sadly, with this core. I still think you could rock out with Jamar and Joe Burrow, but I think you got to start trading pieces and even looking to trade those guys, just because I don't know how far this team goes, bro. I think keeping T was a mistake. You could have let him walk and freed up that money and put it somewhere else. You could get rid of Jamar, put that money somewhere else. This is a team I want to see blow it up, because I think they need a fresh start.
I agree to disagree, because I like what Joe Burrow was bringing, and I always root for the guy, but I think I like Jamar Chase. They will never trade him. T. Higgins, yes, because he's definitely could be another wide receiver one on another team, 100%. The one thing that I don't understand, though, is the fact that they never invested in their O-line. Never invested in them. And the problem here is We're seeing it with other teams. When they don't have a great O-line, you're going to see your quarterback get hurt after year after year. CJ Stroud, I'm not wishing that upon him, but I feel bad for him. I feel bad for even Baker Mayfield tonight at some points. I do feel bad for Justin Fields. I mean, I can go on and on. And the biggest questions like that too, how I'm marking that, the Bengals and the Panthers. They're kind of like of that O-line. It's atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. And the fact is, and I never told you this, but I went to school with Bryce Young. So I actually knew Bryce Young on a level. And I think the crazy part about this is that, when you're playing good, and I'm not saying there's a lot of naysayers of what he's saying or not, but he was playing good, right? But the O-line and just in general, you talk about fresh start, both of these teams, the Panthers and the Bengals, need fresh starts. And Zach Taylor, I've been saying that guy's really just vouching for his job, but he's lucky that Joe Burrow is on his team. But now Joe Burrow's hurt. And now you're going to have Jake Browning again. And I like Jake Browning. I think he's a good backup quarterback. But at the end of the day, the people that they're going to play, I don't know, man. And that O-line, if Joe Burrow is escaping out of his time, look what Browning's going to bring, and we're going to see. And I'm scared because I'm a fantasy owner of not just Jamar Chase. I have T. Higgins too. And people are telling me, like, oh, you need to trade, you need to sell. I'm like, well, maybe I might just stick it out. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. But I know that for a fact, that is a big red button right there. And it just sucks because Joe Burrow literally was playing absolutely great.
This is my take, bro. And I'm going to ask you a question. For them to, rebuild their O-line and their defense, right? How long do you think that would take?
A good 3 to 4 years, man.
By that point, Joe Burrow is going to be 32.
Yes.
I just don't think it makes sense to stick it out with him and hope it works out with a 32-year-old quarterback by the time you have a team ready to win a Super Bowl. Because at this point, this defense isn't going to take you nowhere. This O-line isn't going to take you where you need to be. I just think you tank it. You get rid of Joe Burrow. You get assets back. You speed rush that. You're obviously not going to get a quarterback better than Joe Burrow in the draft. That would be tough. You hit the lottery once. You're not going to hit the lottery again. But if you could get a solid quarterback and build a good defense and you still have Jamar Chase, that is a competent team. Nothing. Right. I'm not saying he's ass. I'm not saying Joe Burrow can't win. I'm saying I don't trust the Bengals because, sure, 3 to 4 years to fix their O-line and their defense, right? Well, 4 years ago, they were in the Super Bowl without an O-line or a defense. So it'll take them damn near 8 years to figure that shit out. You can't trust this team. You just can't. So I say blow it up. That's where I'm at with it because it is kind of – I hate when teams hold on to their babies too long, bro. Let them go. Let them go. Build your team. You'll thrive. He'll thrive. It's a win-win.
At what point, let's say this, and then we can move on to this next topic because we're giving it. But you know what? At what point, and I'm going to throw it out to you because you are one of the biggest Burrow haters. And you're not saying that you don't like him or not, and you said it, but you like what he's brought to the table. You said, I don't really care for the guy. At what point do they trade him? At what point they think that Joe Burrow might be the one maybe to trade because, look, they're wasting, and even him, they're wasting his prime. They're wasting his career. And at the end of the day, there's some teams that definitely could be looking in for a quarterback maybe soon, maybe not. Again, there's a lot of the ones that I see that potentially could have a quarterback issue later on down the line. The Dolphins, one of them. Also, too,
you would send him there to get killed, bro. That's a death sentence.
No, I know, but what I'm saying, there's teams. I'm just giving you an example. Yeah. There's a lot. There's some teams. I know there's not a lot right now we're thinking, but I'm just saying over and on in the line, you never know. The Rams too could be looking. Hey, maybe I just make another blockbuster trade.
I can see that.
Stafford gets hurt, Burrow goes. That's what I'm saying. It's like they're wasting his time, and they're wasting themselves their time.
That's what shout out to Dewey Vids on the YouTube chat. You're the GOAT. Let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna give you two statements, right? When will they trade Joe Burrow? Never. I don't think they ever make that move because at the end of the day in the NFL, you're gonna pick between your starting quarterback or your coach. And if I'm the Bengals and I have to pick between Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, give me 3 bullets and I'm shooting Zach Taylor. Respect.
Yeah, 100%. I would too.
Come on.
In that way, I would too. I'll just cut in the pool. And I like how the camera, because they said it. They're pitting on you, man. They're like, you know what? Why did you just say that? No,
At least they're not going low on me this time.
We're just terminating his job. We're saying that's all we're saying. Terminating his job.
So that's where I'm at with that. But what I would do is I would trade Joe Burrow right now today. Get your value. Shout out Keenan Allen with the touchdown.
Yeah, old vintage Keenan Allen right now on the Raiders. And my friend was saying early on, I don't know if he's on there anymore, but he was like, the Raiders are covering the spread tonight, fellas. And they also said Raiders in first place after today. I don't know. If you're going to let Keenan Allen go back to Keenan Allen and you're going to let these people show up, I mean, the Chargers have been waiting to rise, and that's a team in itself. I don't want to get into it, but they're in a win-now situation. They are in a win-now situation.
That's what I'm saying with the Bengals. The Bengals need to be in a win-now situation, and they're not, bro. At the end of the day, respectfully, as a Joe Burrow fan, right, I'm going to ask you this. The last 3 seasons, if this season goes the way we think it's going to go, have been failures.
100%. 100%. And the fact is that the guy's been playing above average football. Yeah. And it sucks. You see a quarterback, you know exactly what it was like that too. I'm trying to think. There's been some quarterbacks. Hey, Phillip Rivers, there was one. He was playing some above average type of footballs. Drew Brees was. People hurt him. They hurt him so bad. And I think, to me, at the end of the day, what's biting them in the bullet, it's the coaching. It's also the front office. And you could hear a lot about this because I have the team that has the worst front office in the league. And they don't understand when you have a team and you have people to actually want to win. But at the end of the day, that's it. And I think the next topic I want to go into, Ant, and this could be even a boom fantasy if it was a whole type season thing, but I think are the Cardinals or the Colts the early dark horses of the NFL? And they meet each other in week 6. In week 6, they meet each other. And I know the Cardinals had an easier schedule the first 2 games. They played the Panthers this last one. It was closer. But Kyler Murray has answered some questions already early on about people saying, oh, well, he might be on his way out. We're going to get rid of him. No, the guy's been playing winning football. They've won. They're 2-0. And now the Colts with Daniel Jones in that offense and especially that defense, they are something different. And I have to admit, Daniel Jones, and this is an answer right here, if he keeps playing the way he is, he was not the problem ever. That was just that situation in New York.
I never thought he was.
Oh, and I think he's finally getting his ceiling with Shane Steichen and understanding the fact is, hey, if I have a quarterback that can lead and just play like they say, the game manager type of football, not doing too much, but just doing the right amounts to win, I mean, man, that's a winning situation that they have their guy from years to come. Because look at Anthony Richardson still on the bench, but he's probably learning a lot right now because Daniel Jones came in, got a quarterback battle, and he's playing winning football. And they're 2-0.
What do you mean by dark horse, though?
Dark horse, like, we didn't think did you think, tell me right now, in your heart of hearts, did you think the Colts were going to win or be any competent type of division winner or even how they're playing?
I didn't think they'd look this good. I just thought our division sucks. But I didn't think they look really they look like a genuinely not competitor. And that's why I asked what a dark horse, because I didn't know if you mean like dark horse Super Bowl team, dark horse division winner, dark horse
division winners, and dark horse, like, not saying I don't know if they're going to make a run, but I'm saying they get to the playoffs, they could win a playoff game for sure.
Okay, I could definitely see both those teams doing that. Yeah. 100%. And the Colts seem like that team that could upset a very good team, like out of the blue. I'm very high on the Colts. Shout out Daniel Jones. Shout out Indiana Jones. That's what they're calling him now.
Oh my goodness, bro. We gotta tell people to start trending that. We gotta make that Indiana Jones. We're clipping that. That's the clip of the night. Indiana Jones. Wow. Running for his life.
Hate to burst your bubble, but I've seen that on Twitter. People have been calling him that. I didn't know that. I just learned that, but that's fire. Jonathan Taylor is a guy. I agree with you. That defense looks amazing as well. That defense, I feel like this last week, the Broncos hung up some points for sure. I took the under in that game, and I got absolutely throttled. But, that game, that under was like 44, bro. They scored fucking 57, bro. That is insane. I thought that was a lock for the under. But, yeah, I really believe in this Colts team. I think this Colts team is pretty much a lock to win the division, especially with us starting off 0-2. The defense, the offense. Jonathan Taylor just needs the fucking ball. At the end of the day, I was saying this all offseason. You could attest to this. Jonathan Taylor is arguably still the best running back in the NFL. You give him the ball, you get the fuck out the way. It's that, like, don't overthink it. There's Derrick Henry, there's Saquon, there's McCaffrey, there's JT. And that's the top tier. I'm putting all four.
Yeah, no, 100%. Again,
but people aren't doing that in the offseason.
He's been playing great. He's been playing great, man. He's been playing.
I think it's 10 straight games with 70-plus rushing yards. And that's the record in the NFL right now. He is just absolutely killing it.
Killing it with the T, man. And I think with that too, like, my biggest thing off of that, how I'm gonna say this too for my next topic. You're talking about guys that are killing it and that guys are doing it. Well, there's a rookie out there that's doing some damage, and you saw him tonight. My next topic for this is Mbuka, 100% the front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Ooh.
I personally think he is, and you can get this statement right now. The guy has scored past 2 games. These past 2 games, he scored last time. He scored this time. I mean, the guy's on a tear right now. And right now, I love Mike Evans. He's still the wide receiver 1. But right now, after when Mike Evans is gone, he is that true wide receiver 1. He will be wide receiver 1 when Mike is gone. I think so. I think
he'll be the wide receiver 1. But Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think I'm putting JJ's name in the hat over him just because he's a quarterback. And I would put Cam Ward, bro. Cam Ward has been so amazing to start the year. I know his team's not winning. I know he's not putting up the numbers. But he threw probably the best throw I've seen from a rookie quarterback ever this week. When he
Oh
my,
bro. We're playing Madden for sure.
This guy is amazing, bro. I think he'll win it over Ibuka. Ibuka would have to have like 1,100 yards, I feel like, to really be considered the favorite.
Yeah. You know what? I think, watch this. Mbuka's going to win. I think Mbuka will win the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I take Tyler Warren over him.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. We got it on live. We got it here now, so it's out there. So I'm glad it is. But I had to make that known, and I think that it's going to be very teeter-totter at the end. Tyler Warren's great too. He's a great weapon for the Colts. So we'll see. In general,
that's interesting.
Yeah, but that's what I got. And you said, are the Colts going to win the division? Do you have them winning the division right now?
I do. I think they're the best team. They've shown to be the best team so far this season. The Jaguars had an easy one that they pretty much gave up this week to the Bengals. You have to take advantage when Joe Burrow's out at the end of the day. It's that simple. You have to win that game. I think the Colts have shown me nothing but what they are, and that's a great NFL team. Shout out Daniel Jones. And shout out Steichen, too. I thought they made the wrong decision starting Daniel Jones. I didn't think this team was in a position to compete, but because they're in a position to compete, it makes so much sense. So they made the right moves. They deserve it. Fuck the Texans.
No, stop it. DeMeco Ryans is a great coach.
Yeah.
They just got to figure it out offensively, and they will. There's bumps in the road. Again, I think you guys are always that fighting mentality type of team. Do not ever think that offensive line, though. Oh my God, that GM, if he does not get that right next year, you know he's vouching for his job and saying, I got to get that offensive line. All that money is going to the O-line.
We downgraded our O-line. I don't understand why we would do something like that.
Yeah, I don't know either. And they're going to see. They're definitely going to see it this whole year. Yeah. They're definitely going to see. But anyways, so we've covered all these points. We kind of went quarter off a bit. Does Jackson start a full game this season? Let's talk about that.
It don't matter. Let's talk about your fantasy players. We'll do fantasy players. We'll do a boom fantasy spin for Thursday Night Football. We'll call it a night. How's that sound?
All right, for sure. Let's do it.
Let's go. Who are your fantasy players of last week, week 2?
For sure, right here at quarterback, Jared Goff bounced back 33.96 points, 5 touchdowns, and 34 yards passing. And he was only projected 15.3 points, and he obliterated the Bears. Bad news, Bears, bad news, Bears, bad news, Bears, bad news, Bears. Sorry. That's all I have to say. I said it multiple times, but at the end of the day, it's just a sour taste in my mouth. I want these guys to win. I want them to figure it out for themselves. We're playing them this week. But my goodness, if Jared Goff and then did that, then Dak Prescott right now might be licking his fingers and saying, we might be doing the same thing like that to you guys. So, for a quarterback, Jared Goff for sure. 52 points and 52 points in total to what, 21? God. Yeah. And then Jonathan Taylor, your guy at running back, had an outstanding performance. 29.5 points fantasy wise, 25 carries, 165 yards rushing, 2 receptions, 50 yards receiving, and 1 touchdown. And he was projected 15.6% or 15.6 points, excuse me. And he got 29.5, dude. Guy was amazing. Like you said, when he's healthy, there is no team, no defense that's going to stop that guy. He is consistent when he's fully capable. And yeah, he played great. For wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, 39.2 points. He had 9 receptions, 115 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns, 11 targets, 2 carries, also ran the ball, and 7 yards rushing, and projected only 16.9 points, but he surpassed that. I had St. Brown last year. I think the past 2 years in fantasy. I didn't pick him up this year, but oh my goodness. St. Brown's always been very consistent. There was only a couple games last year where he disappeared, but I don't see him disappearing at all this year at all. I think he's been playing great, and he's going to show the league why he could be in the conversation as top 5 receiver.
I think he's there.
Yeah, I think he is consistently wise too. People who haven't seen it on notice, I've loved Amon-Ra ever since modern day. And when he was at USC, I've been that guy upbringing him. And he had crappy quarterbacks in college as well. And he made the most out of it. But you know what? He's doing what he's doing. The next is tight end Tucker Kraft for the Green Bay Packers. 24.4 points in fantasy. 6 receptions, 124 yards receiving, 1 touchdown on 7 targets, but he caught 6. So, hey, the guy did amazing. And he might be a second option for Jordan Love if he can get it going. But you know what? He still has a stacked receiver room that's growing and they're young, but it's good to have a security blanket for him, especially on third down. And he was only projected, get ready, Ant, 9.8 points.
Wow, and he killed. Absolutely.
He killed it, and he killed the Commanders. I'm sorry, Commanders fans. I mean, he got you. But the flex position, he killed my boys so bad, and I have him on fantasy. And you said you wanted me to get chopped. Well, the reason why I don't get chopped is because, number one, play lights out. Malik Neighbors, 37.7 points on fantasy with 9 receptions, 167 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Obviously, he was biting himself on the head for the 4 targets that he missed. But out of 13, he went 9 for 13, and projection, he only was supposed to get 18.3 points, and he obliterated Trayvon Diggs. Yeah, I get the Diggs brothers all the time, but those guys, he obliterated them. He obliterated the whole secondary. We'll just say that, okay? They found a spot. Russell Wilson knew where he was, and that happened more towards the second half, too. He got that majority of the stuff in the second half and a little bit of the overtime. And then my defense, I talked about them earlier, and the Falcons, 21 points. And I was at work watching this. They got 2 interceptions on the defense, 2 fumble recoveries, 6 sacks, only allowed 6 points and 198 yards in total the game. And they were only projected. This is even worse, I think, and everything. 5.5 points.
Because they gassed him.
I know, and I feel bad for the guy. But you know what? He's in the NFL now, but he's going to learn. And you know what? He has KOC, I honestly think, probably the brilliantest mind right now, and coaches of understanding offensive-wise and what he can do. Look at all these quarterbacks that he's had, and he's been able to get them to decent careers. He had what? He had Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, and now he's J.J. McCarthy. Like what I'm saying, like he's made these quarterbacks play outstanding, and J.J. McCarthy's going to find his footing. He will.
Who was the white guy they had in between Dobbs and Kirk?
Not Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins is what I was thinking about.
Yeah, Nick Mullins and Jared Hall too. I mean,
they had
these guys, man.
Jared Hall was the only one. He was ass.
I know, but hey, they had these guys that were just like, what? But you know, at the end of the day, KOC made it happen. And my kicker, you know this. He's the best kicker. He is the best kicker in the NFL. This guy's literally was a soccer player, and he literally is the best kicker in the NFL. And whoever had him on fantasy, I know he saved your fantasy. You were probably down bad or in a close situation. He had 23 points. God. 3 points. And that's not great for an offensive standpoint, but we also scored some touchdowns too. But he had 2 for 2 in field goals in the 49-yard range. 2, right? Then he had 2 for 2 field goals in the 50-plus yard, over 50-yard range. So he was 4 for 4 in field goals, 4 for 4 in extra points. And then his projection, the guy was only supposed to get 8.4 points against the Giants. How disrespectful is that? Well, that man's going to at least get double digits from here on out in the season. So Mr. Brandon Aubrey is the guy, and he's the number 1 kicker in the NFL. No questions asked, and I know you believe that too. The kickers right now are a lot of questionable in the NFL. So if you want any fundamentals and Boom Fantasy, we can click an ad right here. You can go Boom Fantasy. You can win up to $100. And I'd bet on Brandon Aubrey every single time with the field goal. I'd bet the chips. I bet the house on him. I put a car payment. I put $300 on Brandon Aubrey's leg until he proves me wrong. Okay? I hope that doesn't go until the next week, but he is that guy. And luckily my girlfriend has him on fantasy too. So anyways, my sleeper picks. And do you want to say any of those people first that you want to shout out on those fantasy performances?
No.
No?
Show up to all of them. You did your thing. I'm good.
All right. Well, the sleeper picks, I said one earlier. Russell Wilson, obviously, we talked about him. He was a quarterback sleeper pick. 4 running backs. I'm going to start with Kenneth Walker first. Kenneth Walker, answer some questions this week. 18.8 points, 13 carries, 105 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, 1 reception, 13 receiving yards on 1 target. And he was projected 11 points. Put some respect on Kenneth Walker's name. He is still a valuable back. Him and Charbonnet can do both. They can do both great things. So they're going to do that 1-2.
Going into the second half too, Charbonnet had like 80% of the snaps.
Yes.
It's crazy that Kenneth Walker turned the game around in the second half, and he's the huge reason on why the Seahawks ended up winning.
Yes, and the fact is look at he and Charbonnet can be a 1-2 tandem. Look at learn from the Lions. David Montgomery and Jamar Gibbs. It's been working that system. Why can't it work for other people? At the end of the day, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let this understand that if you have a workhorse back like Charbonnet, and then he can make Kenneth Walker be the other one, just punch you in the mouth time and time again. But I wanted to give him love on there, and then I got to give love on this guy because we talked about it early on in the season. You said, what run game, what run game, what run game. Javonte Williams, you've been answering some questions for me these past 2 weeks. You've been showing me the type of person that you can be when you're healthy. And the Broncos, that Javonte Williams starting to creep in a little bit. I'm waiting till they play a competent defensive game. A defense that they can play competent, that's really, really good. But even if they did that on the front line, and against Brian Burns, against Dexter Lawrence, those guys, he got past them. He got 25 points in fantasy. And he had 18 carries, 97 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown, 6 receptions, 33 yards, and 7 targets, and he was projected only 14.1 fantasy points. If you want to pick up a guy, that's a guy that you can start looking at to pick up. He's starting to give you something. And then the biggest sleeper of this week, I think, in my opinion, Troy Franklin for Denver.
Yeah.
He had a day for the Broncos. 1 carry, 11 yards rushing, 8 receptions, 89 receiving yards, and 1 receiving touchdown, and 9 receptions, and projected 7.1 points. Disrespectful. Let's see what he can do continuously. I mean, maybe it might be one and done, but you know what? He brought the haters and the Broncos. Sadly, they lost, but that's a bright spot to see. It's a bright spot to see from a skill player that they have.
Yeah, he looked like the true one there. I think Marvin Mims is always going to be a number 2 receiver, slot receiver type of guy. But Troy Franklin can be a 1. We just don't know what level yet, but his play style suits to be a wide receiver 1.
He does. And I think, too, I wanted to ask before I get my last sleeper pick, what's happening to Courtland Sutton? Is he hurt? What's the deal with this guy? Is he like, what's wrong with him? Is he there? He's still there. Is he healthy, right?
I'm going to be honest, I never even thought of that until you just said that right now. I have no clue. He's still there. Just a down year. Maybe. I mean, I feel like he is a guy that disappears sometimes and then bounces back. He has 67 yards on the year and a touchdown. Just a bad week. I think he had 6 yards this game, so that means week 1 he had 61 yards and a touchdown.
Well, we'll see, because Cortland Sutton inconsistent, but he was starting to tear up people last year. So we'll see. We'll see what the Broncos can do. They got to pick up and clean up things, especially from their defense. They were supposed to be the best defense in the NFL, and my goodness, I had them, and they only gave me 2 points. But the biggest, okay, I said Troy Franklin was the biggest sleeper. He is. But also, this one's a head scratcher, okay? Dan Campbell, I have so much respect for you.
Right.
You are my favorite coach, definitely in the NFL. In top 3 there for sure. Brock Wright, 11.8 points, 3 receptions, 28 yards receiving, and 1 receiving touchdown. Projected.
Like nothing, huh?
0.6 points.
Wow. 6
Outscored Laporta. Laporta had the same receptions and just 2 yards behind Brock Wright. And Brock Wright came in, and my friend was playing me in fantasy. He had Sam Laporta. He's like, that's disrespectful. Why did they give the backup tight end thing? Well, answer the question. Sometimes you got to feed the ball. And when Jared Goff was hot, it doesn't matter who he was throwing the ball to. They just caught it. And congratulations, Brock Wright. I hope you get more playing time off of that, man. And
yeah, what's he supposed to do? Drop it?
Yeah, I mean, he needs to catch the ball, like, right? Yeah, but I had to give some love to Brock Wright. I mean, you know, the guy deserves it. He probably works his butt off, and the Lions won, and hey, there you go. And that's something. Now they start 1-1, and I'm going to keep a very close eye on Detroit because I really want to see if they answer me. They're going to shut me up next week if they beat the Ravens, if they do. But
crazy.
I got my boy Lamar Jackson. You've been really putting me on the train for that, man, and he's been doing great. And keep doing what you're doing. But I know I have to give you credit. I have to, because I've been studying his game, but what I've been seeing from him, doesn't matter what he's doing. He's playing complementary football, and that's what I got to give. That's what I got on the wrap up for that. And I want to hear a good old classic Ant Boom Fantasy type pick. What you're going to do. What are we going to do, Ant? What are we going to do? Come on. Lighten the load so you don't feel so bad the rest of the night. It's okay.
I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to make some money, Zach. And this Thursday, we have a snooze fest between the Bills and the Dolphins. I don't know who's going to win that game. We know who's going to win that game. The Buffalo Bills are going to win that game. So the easiest bet for me, now Boom doesn't have a lot available yet. I think they're waiting to get injury reports and all that. But Josh Allen to score a rushing touchdown feels like a lock to me. I mean, they're going to be up a fuck ton of points when they get to the goal line. They're not going to get too creative, not going to get too cute. We know you can't stop us. We're going to run that little Josh Allen tush push, get him in the end zone for a touchdown. And my second bet is Tyreek Hill under 66.5 receiving yards. I don't think he has a good day against them. Tua is going to be feeling that pressure. That secondary is there. They don't go deep often. I think Tyreek Hill did catch a deep ball finally this week. It was like his first ball past 30 yards. And last season, week 2 or week 3 versus the Bills, Tyreek Hill only had 24 yards. So those are my 2 legs. Right now, they have a 3 times your money wheel to 1,000 times your money super wheel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin it, and we're going to see where we land with this bet. Oh, shoot. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, man. We hit on 2. We almost got 10. Bro, on Thursday, I was a sliver away from 2000X. A sliver. I was so heated. If we went for 2K, oh boy, retire, run the play, and buy the run the play yacht, and all my boys are sleeping on that shit. Hey, I've been at RTP, ANT, NHD under me. Zachary Gret, shout out Boom Fantasy. If you want to sign up, use code RTP. Zach, is there anything else you want to say, my brother?
Hey, you know where to find us. We're doing this daily, and I promised last time I was going to put Game Time Gretch on there, so I'm going to be doing it now. I promise. I just zoom it in there on the crunch time, but at the end of the day, look, you know where to find me. You know where to find Ant. Hey, we're doing this every Monday night, and if you want to bring the comments, come on, tell us what we want to talk about. We're already giving you all the stuff we want, but I want to hear some of your fantasy suggestions, any questions, any troubles, because at the end of the day, this fantasy is looking a lot more different than last year. There's going to be a lot more upsets for sure, especially with all these quarterback carousels and a lot of these injury reports coming in. I mean, look at Brock Bowers barely just got the clear to go tonight. So there's big things like that. So that's what I want to say. And it's always a pleasure. Run the play. Love you guys every day and appreciate you guys. And you know what? Hey, till another Monday night, and we'll see Bills, Dolphins. I'm predicting the score. Bills 40. Dolphins
10.
14.
Okay. Give them
There you go. That's it.
Shout out.